Oftentimes, when I'm doing something or I'm undertaking an effort or I'm doing a process which I expect to lead to a certain result, then if the result doesn't manifest in the exact form that I expect it to manifest, or if it doesn't show up exactly when I expect it to show up, or even sometimes before I expect it to show up, I get disheartened and I give up. And I guess the phrase trust the process is a cliche, but there's something to be said about that. There's a case to be made about it because when you trust the process, the fact that you just showed up, like it could be you showed up and you worked out for 30 minutes, you showed up and you wrote a paragraph of your book, you showed up and you read you read something that you're supposed to read, you showed up and you meditated for 15 minutes, or what else could there be? Like you showed up to work. The process of showing up is the reward. And as long as you're showing up and you're feeling good enough about it, like you're not slogging and you're not like feeling like a victim, then that in of itself is the reward. So so when oftentimes we quit because we don't see the reward upfront, I think there's a case that can be made about the reward being the process being the reward. And you have to like keep a check on your internal emotions, because your internal emotions are your feedback mechanism from your higher self. Like if you're feeling anxious or angry or disappointed, then you need to assess why it is that you feel these negative emotions. And you have to introspect without being self-deprecating. And I guess that is the trick, because a lot of times when we introspect, we're very harsh with ourselves. We tell ourselves all the ways that we've let ourselves down, and that is like a toxic thing. We should never like do that. So you need to like keep a check on. And again, this, like I'm telling myself this as much as I'm telling the next person, that you need to check where your emotions are at. If you're feeling anxious, the universe is not going to give you more, because the universe is going to come to the conclusion that you're not able to handle, because the universe is very intelligent. So if you're anxious, then the universe is going to understand that you are unable to handle what you have already. How can it possibly give you more? And so you need that internal coherence and peace while you adhere to the process. And as long as you're adhering to the process with that internal coherence and peace, then you can rest assured that there's the results are on their way. And I guess that's the sanctity of the statement trusting the process, which has now become a cliche, but I it kind of struck me, and it was brought to me in a new light in the book uh, called War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And yeah, so how I intend to apply this to my life is that I'm gonna like you show up every day for whatever your goals are, your wealth goals, your health goals, your relationship goals, whatever it is. You just show up and you do something constructive in towards that goal, and that should suffice. You should not like compare where you are at with in comparison to other people, or comparison to yesterday, because there are times when things don't flow. There's a time when you're going in a your momentum was like backwards. You were going backwards, and when you're going backwards and you have to turn direction, you just don't just turn around with the same momentum and you jump forward. You have to stop, turn around, and then go. So when things stop, that means that your negative momentum has stopped, and now you're gonna pick up pace in the right direction. So that's how we should see like those stagnant periods in our lives, which everybody goes through, and where you feel like you're caged or you feel like you're stuck. And like I've felt stuck a lot in my life, and I tend to spiral at those points. And I feel if I have more faith in the process, then I wouldn't spiral. So yeah, that is what I wanted to make a note about.